Hello, everyone. I'm Robin Smith, certified trauma and relationship coach. Welcome to my group or my YouTube channel, wherever you're watching. And I'm here today to share about a challenging conversation that I had with a friend in hopes that you can take away some key communication skills that I implemented and my friend implemented that helped us get to a really good place together when it could have gone badly. So a little bit of context, and then I'll highlight the key points that the skills that we each use that I think could be helpful for you. So first of all, I'm in a group with this person, and on the side, I was inviting some of the members in the group to go in on something for one of the group members as a celebration. And she wrote to me and told me she strongly disagreed with that. And I'm not going to lay out all of her reasons, but she said it crossed a boundary with her, and that she said, for me, this is very wrong. And it was really hard for me to receive that because I've done this at other times for other people, and the people I had invited before her all said absolutely yes. So I was really surprised that she felt so strongly. And I was also kind of hurt by her words, this is very wrong, because I took it as judgment and shaming, and it didn't feel very good to be judged that way. So it was hard to receive, and I also just couldn't quite get her position because it was just so different from anything I've heard before. And I talked to the other friend who she already told me she'd communicated the same thing to, just to try and see how she had received it. And she felt similarly to me, that she was really surprised by it. So instead of talking more with that friend, I decided to go directly to the person who had written me the text. And so that's the first lesson here is go direct. Try not to talk about it with everybody else who maybe don't even know about it, because then it becomes like gossip. And I didn't want to make her bad or make her wrong in other people's eyes. I really just wanted to understand and also try and repair anything bad that had occurred between us. I didn't know. So I went direct and I left her a voicemail. And I'm going to share some of the things that I did here. Was first, I expressed my response by taking total responsibility for my experience. So I didn't blame her. I didn't judge her back. I didn't make her wrong for judging me, or for having this opinion. I just started by this taking full responsibility is the kind of global thing that I did. And then directly, I let her know that I really heard her words. I repeated some of her words back and said, I really appreciate you letting me know and stating your truth. I thought she did very clearly. And then I apologized for anything I might have done. If I did offend her in some way, I didn't know. I hadn't been the one to invite her to share around this thing, and someone else had. So I said, I don't know what the other person said, but I wanted to let her know my intentions. And so I did all those things. I heard her. I appreciated her letting me know. I apologized for any unintentional offense. And I also let her know I was sad that she felt that way, because I wanted her to feel good and not badly about what was happening. And I also clarified where I was coming from. I really wanted her to understand that I didn't have any bad intentions here, and that my intention was not to bring that into the group as a whole, but just to invite everyone independently so there wouldn't be a feeling of pressure or anything like that. And lastly, I shared my experience of her words when she said, this is very wrong, because I didn't want to pretend everything was okay. That did not sit well with me, to feel that kind of judgment. And I didn't want to judge her back or wrong her for saying it like that. I just figured, she doesn't maybe have the same communication skills I have or see it that way. But for me, I take that as I'm being shamed right now, and that doesn't feel good. So I just let her know that I received it that way without judging her or blaming her. So there's several skills that I use there. Lastly, there's one more. Lastly, I said, I hope we can repair this if it needs to be repaired. I really want to be on good terms with you. And that's really important to me. If we can work this out, I would like that. So leaving it on a positive note and with my, again, my desire and intention for connection. So all of that, I think, was helpful in getting the response that I got from her, which was more clarity about her position, her apologizing for the way I received her words and letting me know, her explaining she didn't intend it that way. Um, and she also came back with really owning her position, like not saying everybody should feel this way. She got that most of us didn't already feel the same way she did, but she said, for me, this is a boundary. For me, I don't want this happening in our group. For me, this is what I need. So she let me know that, and I appreciated her sharing what her boundaries were, because we don't know what people's boundaries are unless they tell us. For me and my friends, it wasn't a boundary, for me and the other 3 people I had asked, but for her it was, and I would have never known that if she hadn't shared it. So I appreciated that. And she also said it's okay if we don't agree, which I also appreciated that very much. I thought that was very grounded and mature and clear. And I just thought she left a lot of space for us to have our differences and to also still be friends. And so she let me know there was nothing I had done to offend her. We didn't have to repair anything. Everything's fine between us. So I felt a lot of relief about that, but it was just a very strong boundary she needed to express. So we didn't agree, and I shared in the next message about how I didn't agree, and this is how I see it, and I see how you see it differently. But again, I didn't judge her view or try to make her convince her about I'm right and you're wrong. So another skill there is just the clarity of when we own our position without judging, it really helps the other person to be okay with that, and to be okay with we don't have to agree, and not feel like they have to defend themselves. So this is kind of the global thing that was happening in our conversation. She didn't try to make me agree. She was very strong in her perspective and let me know why. And I was the same. I had a very different perspective. I expressed a boundary of what I could agree to and could not agree to, and I let her know why. And yeah, and she ended up agreeing with a lot of what I said in the end. It didn't matter. I didn't need her to agree. I just wanted to be understood, and I think she did as well. And I think we both yeah, just wanted to be heard and understood, and not create malice between us. And so we ended on a really positive note of, okay, we're adults, we see things differently, we understand each other's boundaries now, and that's great. We can move forward with this clear understanding. So I hope that's been helpful for you to have some takeaways, and put your takeaways in the chat below. I'd love to know which pieces of that you would like to implement for yourself in different relationships. And I will say that I know that it doesn't always go this well. Like, I was grateful that she was able to hear me and was skillful in her communication. But sometimes you can be very skillful and state your boundaries clearly without blaming, and express your feelings again without making someone the cause of your feelings, and take responsibility. And you can do all the things right, so to speak. And somebody could still come back with blame and shame and judgment and criticism, or say that you're attacking them when you're not. So that can happen, but it's just a lot less likely to happen when you use these types of skills. And we can't control how somebody receives our words and our intentions. All we can do is be as clear as possible and neutral, and and caring in our words and understanding, and the rest we can't control. But if that comes back at you and there's criticism and shame, you could again restate, that's not my intention. What I want you to understand is this is my perspective, this is my boundary. You can keep restating with more clarity your position if needed. And sometimes it still doesn't work, and someone's got you like you're the bad guy, and it may not work. And that's where you may decide, well, my boundary is not to stay in this communication right now because it's not going anywhere. And you might decide to take a break and come back, or maybe to write it out in a letter, or however you handle it. But hopefully you find this helpful. And again, please leave your comments below. Let me know what you're taking away. And if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe and hit the bell so you can get notifications about the next video that comes out. And I'll put a link below. I have some other videos here about how to have difficult conversations, and I think you'll find those helpful. So thanks for watching. I hope to see you soon.